So last week I was planning on entering the Eastern State courtroom for the first time as a viewer and go to the football game the next day. Things got wrecked. Instead, I taped resolutions on Hangman Hill's homes all day until my legs gave out. Yesterday, I started an investigation into what went wrong in Rockford. Parents blame media, lack of parenting, and access to firearms in a safe. I plan on building the safe checker off the information I'm being provided from parents. And while hiking up the Rockford town hill, a mean Rottweiler rushed to attack me. I provided the proper owner commands, and it whimpered away. No need to carry a firearm. So, when I was in junior high, so today I found a court document explaining that a friend of Caleb Sharp had knowledge of IEDs and had been willing in the past to teach him. And then back in Rockford, I ended the trip in the Historical Society room and snapshotted the story of my great-grandfather's 6,100-mile trip in 1914 to Ohio and back in the Model T. And that story is at the Rockford Fair. You can go there this week if you want. But when I was in junior high and high school, children would come over and have free and unlimited access to absolutely any type of material, including anarchist sites. One of my friends almost blew his hand off with a tennis ball bomb recipe. And I said, there is also a problem with sharpshooter video games. I never liked those games and never built any anarchist products. So.
Thank you, Mr. McDowell.
Minute. We have a winner. Alan McDowell, and you have 3 minutes.
Okay, so since this disaster at Freeman, I've been walking around asking questions to why it went down, and a lot of parents are talking about there was not good parental supervision, but I will go back to the resolution I talked about before called the Safety from Homicide/Suicide and Medical Malpractice Plan. And so this is how it goes. Whereas there is no current licensing tests to carry firearms or obtain a weapons permit, whereas around 30,000 plus individuals die per year due to firearms, and whereas the 20,000 individuals commit suicide per year due to firearms, and whereas massacres are on the rise by firearms, creating security concerns for citizens in crowded locations due to illegal drug use, pharmaceutical and mental health drug use, and violent media. And whereas the pharmaceutical, mental health, social service industry profits exponentially off massacres, violence, and suicide. And whereas the pharmaceutical, medical, mental health industry fabricates documents and uses false standards for evaluation to raise profits and create consumers. And whereas pharmaceutical mental health products have side effects that create psychosis, restrict memory, cause confusion, restrict short and long-term memory, affect areas of cognition which cause chemical withdrawal resulting in psychosis after stopping, and therefore to create a proper psychological testing and examination on paper or application independent from psychiatric or pharmaceutical profit testing to evaluate an individual's knowledge, readiness, cognition, and mental state before gaining a weapons permit to carry a firearm with a 4-year restriction on weapons after illegal drug use and pharmaceutical mental health drug use. And so that's all I have tonight, and I'll keep working on it. And it was a draft that I submitted to the Democratic Party last year, even though I'm a Republican. And so I'll just keep working on that draft, and hopefully we come to a solid answer in the future to how to resolve these problems.
Thank you, sir. So is there anybody else would like to provide any testimony?
Gallardo and then George Taylor.
Alan McDowell, Memory Programs. The first steps to preventing homelessness are 1, preventing iatrogenic mental diseases, and 2, preventing mental diseases induced by illegal drug use. For years, this country has been involved in funding social services malpractice to wrongfully bill insurance companies. Doctors commit insurance fraud at the expense of citizens' health by wrongfully diagnosing using skewed report writing. Millions of Americans, including children, are chemically induced with mental health, drug, pharmaceutical dependencies, which end in full-blown iatrogenic diseases with the same effects as mental illness. On the other end, illegal drug use self-induces citizens into mental illnesses. The country needs proper prevention tools, survival tools, and education tools to face life's obstacles, prevent homelessness, and help direct and keep individuals whom are homeless safe. That means applications. Religious homeless shelters create the foundation of values, discipline, work ethics. As the personal trainer told me a month before AutoZam, we save people while the social services industry murders people. Religious shelters are on the same end as sports psychology, and another form is industrial and organizational psychology. But I want to thank Phil Altmaier for all his hard work, and I'm sorry that he has to put up with all this. Not every organization should have bring in everyone. Some need to have values and show work ethic to individuals, and those work ethics that are trained at UGM improve people's lives. So I just want to thank Phil Altmaier and all the work they do.
Thank you, Mr.